Did you know? Part 5. A premature baby, after it had been declared dead, was brought back to life after the mother cuddled with him for 2 hours. In 2015, Turkish bride and groom distributed food to 4,000 Syrian refugees instead of their guests on their wedding day. Microsoft Japan introduced 4 days work week for its employees for 1 month under its working reform project, and the productivity jumped by over 40%. In 2017, a brain-dead woman was kept alive on life support for 123 days just to let the twin babies in her womb see the light of the day. The baby's birth is being described as a miracle birth after everyone lost hope. Popcorn is by far the healthiest snack. It builds bone, muscle, tissue, aids digestion, and is good for the teeth. When Thomas Edison needed a wheelchair in his final years, his friend Henry Ford bought one too, so they could have wheelchair races. Physical books continue to massively outsell e-books every year. Finland has been ranked as the happiest country in the world for the 4th year in a row. Iceland is second, followed by Denmark, Switzerland, and the Netherlands. Krispy Kreme will give you a free donut every day for the rest of the year, if you've been vaccinated. In 1977, we received a radio signal from space that lasted 72 seconds. To this day, we still don't know where it came from. A 16-year-old Afghan girl, Kamar Gul, shot dead 3 Taliban terrorists and injured several other terrorists with her family's AK-47 assault rifle to avenge the killing of her parents after they were dragged from their home and killed. Lonely people take longer, hotter showers or baths to replace the warmth they are lacking socially or emotionally. Meghan Markle's nephew, a cannabis farmer in Oregon, commemorated her wedding to Prince Harry by creating a strain of weed called Markle Sparkle. 1 to 3% of the population are known as the sleepless elite. This group of people routinely get 6 hours or less of sleep daily and remain totally functional. Ancient Egyptians had a pregnancy test where potentially pregnant women peed on barley and wheat seeds. Plant growth indicated pregnancy. Barley for a boy and wheat for a girl. Later tests show urine of pregnant women does cause plant growth 70% of the time, while urine of non-pregnant does not. In 1941, Maria Oktyabrskaya's husband was killed by the Nazis in World War II. In order to avenge her husband's death, she sold all her possessions and donated a tank for the war effort. The Soviet Union trained her to drive and fix the T-34 medium tank, named Fighting Girlfriend, which she used to hunt down Nazis. In 1944, she died of wounds from battle and was posthumously made a hero of the Soviet Union, which was the Soviet Union's highest honor, for bravery during combat. In 1968 in Japan, a fake motorbike cop stopped a bank vehicle carrying 300 million yen in cash, the equivalent of $10 million USD today, told the driver to run because the car was rigged to blow. Then he simply got in the car and drove it away. The culprit and the cash have never been found. New Zealand just approved a new measure allowing for paid leave after miscarriage. The legislation is believed to be among the first in the world, applying to couples who lose a baby at any point. In 2017, a 10-year-old Florida girl, Juliana, fought off an alligator by sticking her 2 fingers up the 9-foot-long beast's nose, forcing the animal to open its mouth to breathe. As it did so, Juliana freed her leg and escaped. She had learned the trick from Gatorland. If you buy a Volvo through their overseas delivery program, you will receive 2 free round-trip tickets to Sweden to test drive your car, includes airport pickup, luxury hotel. Then you'll have 2 weeks to explore Europe in the car, they pay for insurance. Volvo then ships your car to you for free. James Earl Jones once traveled across the US and used his legendary Darth Vader voice to talk to truck drivers on his CB radio. It freaked them out so much that he had to stop doing it. An Indian man traveled from India to Sweden on a bicycle to meet his Swedish wife in 1978. The journey took him 4 months and through 8 countries. Psychopaths often have a poor sense of smell. Concerned about our loss of bees, Morgan Freeman converted his 124-acre Mississippi ranch into a bee refuge. He's hired a gardener, filled acres with clover, planted hundreds of flowering trees, purchased 26 hives, and has turned himself into a beekeeper. The Blue Java banana, a hardy, cold-tolerant banana, is said to have the consistency of ice cream and a flavor similar to vanilla. In medieval Germany, married couples could legally settle their disputes by fighting a marital duel. To even the field, the man had to fight from inside a hole with one arm tied behind his back. The woman was free to move and was armed with a sack filled with rocks. The Devil's Bridge is a 19th-century structure in Kromlau, Germany, that was designed to make a perfect circle with its reflection in the water below. In 1887, a group of men added a woman named Susanna Salter to a mayoral ballot as a joke intended to humiliate women. Instead, she won over 60% of the vote and became America's first woman elected as mayor and one of the first women to serve in any political office in the United States. Leonardo DiCaprio was named Leonardo because his pregnant mother was looking at a Leonardo da Vinci painting in a museum in Italy when DiCaprio first kicked. There exists a psychological phenomenon in which perfectly sane people, with no desire to die, find themselves faced with a steep cliff and experience a strong desire to leap. This phenomenon is so common, in fact, that the French have a term for it, l'appel du vide. Call of the void. Slave owners in the U.S. were aware that enslaved people were fleeing to Mexico, so they tried to persuade Mexico into signing a fugitive slave treaty. Mexico declined, insisting that once enslaved people set foot on Mexican soil, they were free. People with higher IQs are 3 times more likely to suffer from depression because of increased brain activity. In 1998, Sony accidentally sold 700,000 camcorders that had the technology to see through people's clothes. There was a man so dedicated to April Fools, he flew hundreds of tires into a dormant volcano in Alaska and set them on fire, fooling the local populace and Coast Guard into thinking the volcano was active. A restaurant in Bangkok has been continuously cooking and serving from the same soup for 45 years, a form of perpetual stew. New Zealand raises minimum wage to $20 an hour and raises taxes on the country's biggest earners. More than 350 years after the Catholic Church forced Galileo Galilei to recant his theory that the Earth revolves around the Sun, it declared he was right in 1992. German soldiers in the armed forces are instructed to disobey any order that they believe violates human decency. A bus driver in Paris kicked all the passengers out when they refused to make space for a wheelchair-bound man. Why is the color green used as background? Green screens are used in editing, VFX, because green color doesn't match any natural skin tone of humans. An Australian veterinarian performed a 45-minute surgery on a goldfish named George. His owners were quite attached to him, so they paid to have a tumor removed from his head. When glasses for nearsightedness began to appear in the 15th century, they were seen as having magical powers. People who wore glasses were thought to be in league with the devil. If you count the number of seconds between a flash of lightning and the sound of thunder, then divide by 5, that's how many miles away you are from the lightning strike. This is a close-up, macro photo of a snowflake.